Good evening. Syndicate 6 will be talking about designing an agile organization. Within our agenda, we'll be looking at what is an agile organization? What are the drivers of organization leading to using the agile approach? How do you design an agile organization? We'll be looking at benefits and drawbacks of the agile approach. And we're giving you practical recommendations of South African organizations within South Africa adopting the agile approach. What is an agile organization? An agile organization is an organization that's quick to adapt in responding to changes within the marketplace and in the external environment. An agile organization is also known as a resilience organization, focusing on the customer through customization rather than standardization of offerings. A highly agile company is one that is able to successfully react to rapid technology advances, new competition, and a sudden shift in the overall market condition. Some of the key principles within an agile organization: open communication, value-driven, continuous delivery, and piecemeal project. Organizations in developed countries, through our research, found out that are more adopting to the agile approach relative to countries or organizations within developing industries. What are some of the key drivers of agility within the South African context? High competition environment, the likes of Capitec joining the banking industry, ongoing customer needs through new investment products, new technologies, new businesses like F&B Connect, globalization, and changing of risk profiles such as the downgrading of the SA economy. How do you design an agile organization? Within my colleagues here, there will be experts elaborating on how they design an agile organizations and touching on practical recommendations of good organization within the South African market. So, what are the critical catalysts of an agile approach?
As we all know, a ship without a captain sinks, right? And leadership, therefore, forms the cornerstone of any agile organization. Leadership supported by a culture is really what drives an agile organization, and this needs to have on the backdrop of it continuous improvement, open communication and open environment, as well as governance. More on the leadership side, we've seen a lot of organizations moving away from a hierarchy organization to more of a flat organization to adapt for some of the changes in the environment, as well as a fast-moving environment that we're in. Our recommendations to management in terms of what they need to do to sustain an agile environment is really setting the mission and vision at the top that instills an agile culture within the organization. Also removing obstacles that allow lack of decision-making. Quick decision-making processes are important for sustainability, as well as aim for success but fail fast. So have an environment that allows for innovation but also allows to identify failures fast enough before they become big. And lastly, I'd like to say, having a robust incentive system that identifies agile champions within the organization allows or promotes this culture throughout the organization.
Please can you elaborate on continuous improvement?
Continuous improvement requires a psychological shift in reframing failure into learning. It is important for managers to understand the differences between the traditional waterfall approach and the agile methodology. For instance, in the traditional approach, it uses large functional teams and an exhaustive documentation process, whereas the agile methodology uses small cross-functional teams that deliver continuous and incremental changes. Think agile and think plan, do, check, and action. And agile is not linked to anarchy. Some recommendations from General Electric's digital business unit in the transition into an agile organization. They recommended the following recommendations. One is managers piloting scrums and stand-up meetings with the project teams and later on with the leadership teams. This enabled them to use Kanban notes in open boardrooms for visibility and constant collaboration. This enabled GE's digital unit to be able to adapt and respond to internal and external changes.
How do you create an open environment within the agile approach?
Two things line managers should focus on: behavior and facilitating dialogue. In terms of behavior, line managers should hire less for technical skills and more for soft skills. Humility, curiosity, and humbleness are skills that thrive in an agile environment. Storytelling is another effective tool that can be used by line managers to create the right behavior. In terms of facilitating dialogue, I would encourage line managers to avoid sending mass impersonal emails communicating changes, but rather to set up town hall planning meetings where they can encourage two-way communication between leadership and the organization. Office layout is another mechanism which line managers can use to exchange ideas in an open environment. Think tanks and kitchen corners are a great way to exchange ideas in a casual environment.
How does governance fit in within the overall agile approach?
Governance involves systems of rules, processes, and practices to control the organization. An agile governance approach values responding to change rather than following a plan. So it has to do three things: focus on the most critical decisions, define who is responsible for making decisions, and provide a timely access to quality information. So what managers should do in terms of the critical decision is that they should define the priorities of the organization and ensure that they are aligned to the strategic objectives and the processes of the business. In terms of responding to making decisions, they should set up their teams to ensure that there is accountability, responsibility, and decision-making authorities within the teams. And when it comes to timely access to information, they should make sure that they have a platform that allows for timely access to information, either through automation or creation of culture that allows for timely communication.
And what are some practical recommendations within the South African market of some organizations?
We have chosen two companies that have designed the Agile strategy, ABSA and General Electric. ABSA's Agile approach is focused on offering the customer the banking solution instead of a single product that used to be done. This is done by collaboration between departments with the aim of reducing bureaucracy and maximizing their potential. Whereas at General Electric, they are applying the principle of fast work, which guides us to understand the market insight, use the voice of customer when designing our strategy, identifying critical aspects of a project, test assumption, and fail fast. Agile workspaces at GE allows us as employees to be flexible, to use 365 office automation for us to be able to be flexible in terms of our hours that we work and where we work.
We are very fortunate to have an expert that's going to be part of the panel via Skype, all the way from New York, talking about the pros and cons of the agility approach.
The benefits of an agile organization include increased customer satisfaction, competitive advantage, cash savings, improved productivity, and mobility and flexibility. So if you look at F&B, they are available 24 hours. They offer lifestyle products. They offer self-run products. They've introduced a new concept, it's called .F&B, which is a cashless branch. That means customers get to service themselves and they get to save on cost on employing anyone at the branch. But then the drawbacks of the whole system is mismatch management, territory disputes, and disgruntled employees.
We've heard from our panel of experts from New York and the panel sitting around me around the design of an agile organization, which comes with its challenges. We feel to remain sustainable in this current environment, agility is the way to go.